This update is specifically for those who are on Social Security benefits. Of course, we're going to cover that $200 monthly stimulus payments. Joe Biden, in large part, won his 2020 campaign because of the senior vote, and he made a large promise to significantly increase Social Security benefits through that monthly stimulus payments, as well as an increase in that annual COLA adjustment, among many other things as well. So Biden needs to follow through on his promise. But where do things stand today, and do we expect Biden to actually follow through? Well, let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'd also like to thank my sponsor, Webull. They've partnered with me to provide free stocks for my viewers, valued up to $1,800. It's completely free and takes 2 minutes. All you need to do is open an account using my link. The link is in the description of this video, just below the like button. Feel free to sell the stocks immediately to use the money if you'd like. Just make sure to fully open an account and then click on the green button that says Get Free Stocks. Okay, we're going to cover Biden's plan to increase Social Security benefits, including those monthly stimulus payments, an increase in that COLA adjustment, among many other things as well. But first, can we actually trust Biden to follow through on his promise? Well, to answer the question, first, let's go back and take a look at his track record on Social Security benefits. Of course, most of you remember last year when Bernie Sanders was slamming Joe Biden in the primaries for not being an advocate for Social Security benefits. So let's take a look and see what Bernie had to say. Then we'll look at Joe Biden's actual track record on benefits and his current plan to increase benefits today.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
Yeah.
You're right here with me.
Yeah.
Have you been on the floor of the Senate? You were in the Senate for a few years.
Yeah.
Time and time again, talking about the necessity, with pride, about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs.
No.
You never said that.
No.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government.
Look, here's the deal.
You're an honest guy. Why don't you just tell the truth here? We all make mistakes.
I am telling the truth.
And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Joe, let me repeat it again. I want you just to be straight with the American people. I am saying that you have been on the floor of the Senate time and time again talking about the need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and veterans programs. Is that true or is that not true?
No, it's not true.
That is not true?
That is not true.
I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government.
Everything was on the table. I did not support any of those cuts in Social Security or in veterans benefits.
Whoa. Everything was on the table. All right, you're right. You just said it, including, in your judgment, cuts to Social Security and veterans.
In order to get the kinds of changes we need on other things related.
Joe, then
but
you
it
just...
didn't. But we did not cut it.
I know, because people like me helped stop that. All that I would say to the American people, go to YouTube. It's all over the place. Joe said it many, many times, and I'm surprised. You know, you can defend that or change your mind on it, but you can't deny the reality.
So it's obvious that at times Joe Biden has actually been in support of cutting Social Security benefits. So can we now trust him to follow through and increase them? Well, the truth is that at times in his career, he's voted to cut benefits, and at times in his career, he's voted to increase them. Let's take a look at his track record. Well, in 1984, he co-sponsored a plan to freeze all benefits, as well as freezing that COLA annual increase. But then in 1973, he also voted for a 7% increase in benefits. And in 1995, he voted to protect Social Security benefits as well, basically voting to prevent them from ever being cut, just to balance an annual budget. And then again in 1996, he suggested a few ways to help prevent future insolvency of the program, like raising the retirement age by 1 year and reducing the cost of living adjustment. So as you can see, he's a little bit across the board. At times, he's voted to increase benefits, and then at times he has voted to decrease benefits. So in my opinion, Joe Biden seems to be a pragmatic congressman who does whatever he thinks is best for the country at the time and tries to balance that with what is best for those who are on Social Security benefits. benefits. Now, currently, I do believe him, and I do think he will try to increase Social Security benefits, and I do still think he will try and include that $200 monthly stimulus payments for those on benefits, although I think the main reason he has not been able to do so yet is because he wants to try and increase taxes on the rich before he implements these increases. But what is Joe Biden's current proposal to increase Social Security benefits? Well, first of all, he wants to boost benefits for those who have been on benefits for over 20 years. This would add a 5% increase starting at year 16 and tapering up to a 5% increase by year 20 on benefits. This would greatly help those who are the oldest, who also tend to be those who have the most medical bills and things of that nature, which increase their cost of living. Now, too, he also wants to increase benefits for those who are lower income, and he wants to do this by increasing a hard minimum for anyone who worked for at least 30 years. This would increase benefits to everyone to at least 125% of the federal poverty level, meaning that nobody on benefits would be forced to live in poverty. This would really be good news because, unfortunately, a lot of people on benefits work their entire lives, they pay into a system of Social Security benefits, and then are forced to live in poverty, guys. And these people who are retired deserve to live through a retirement of dignity. So this would ensure that nobody would be forced to live in poverty. Now, number 3, he wants to increase benefits for those who are survivors. Now, currently, the way the rules are written, if your spouse passes away and you are both on Social Security benefits, you will be paid the larger of the two benefits. So if your spouse gets paid more, you will receive theirs. If you get paid more, you will receive yours. But generally what happens in this situation is a married couple who used to receive 2 Social Security benefit checks now only receives 1, and that person is generally left with a lot of bills because they still have to pay the entire rent, the entire utilities, and things of that nature. So to solve this, Joe Biden wants to increase these benefits on average by 20% for survivors. Now, the way this works is basically they would take 75% of your benefit and 75% of your spouse's benefit who passed away, add those together, and that would now be your new benefit. Of course, if your spouse's benefit was still larger than this, you would just receive your spouse's benefit, if that kind of makes sense. But basically, he wants to help survivors by increasing their benefits. On average, this would equal to about a 20% increase for most survivors. Number 4 is an increase in that COLA adjustment. Now, all of you know that the annual cost of living adjustment is a measly 1.3%. That is not enough and completely pathetic, especially when you consider the fact that those who are retired have a ton of bills, including medical expenses, prescription expenses, and things of that nature. So he wants to take into account these expenses, the fact that people who are retired have a lot more medical bills and things of that nature. This would increase the COLA adjustment significantly, helping those to adjust to their higher medical bills. Number 5 is that $200 per month stimulus payment for those who are on Social Security benefits. Now, this has been in the news a lot over the past year, but will Biden follow through on his promise? And where did this idea even come from? Well, first of all, I want to point out the fact that I do think Joe Biden still plans to deliver on this promise because it is still on his website. And if you take a look on the screen, this is Joe Biden's official website, and this is the Emergency Action Plan to Save the Economy. Now, as of today, this is still on his website, and if you scroll down, it says, an increase in monthly Social Security checks by $200 per month as proposed by Senator Wyden and colleagues. Seniors and people with disabilities are uniquely at risk right now. So because it's still on his website, I do believe that he still plans to follow through with his promise. Now, where did this idea even begin? Where did the idea of a $200 per month stimulus even begin? Well, Elizabeth Warren. Now, back in 2019, Elizabeth Warren actually proposed a $200 monthly increase in Social Security benefits permanently. So this would be a permanent increase for everyone on benefits. And see, this is in September of 2019. This is almost 2 years ago. And her plan was to tax the rich to then help increase benefits for those who are retired. Of course, just 6 months later, the pandemic hit, and then she brought to the forefront this plan to make it a temporary increase during the pandemic, and a lot of Senate Democrats got on board. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was on board as well and supported this plan. So we have a lot of high-level Democrats who who are in support of this $200 monthly stimulus payments throughout the pandemic, which would last at least until the end of 2021. Of course, at this point, I would hope it would last until the end of 2022, considering the fact that it's already been delayed for far too long. But when you take into account that Joe Biden still has this on his website, Senate Democrats like Elizabeth Warren and now Senate leader Chuck Schumer support this plan, I do still think we still have a chance. But why hasn't it gotten done yet? Why are we still waiting for this $200 stimulus boost if Joe Biden has already been in office for over 4 weeks? Well, in my opinion, unfortunately, I think in order to do this, he first wants to raise taxes on the rich. Specifically, he wants to raise taxes for those who make $400,000 per year or more. And he still has not been able to do that. And the reason I believe he has not done that yet is because we're still in the middle of this pandemic. So on the one hand, he wants to increase benefits for retirees, but to do so, he feels like he needs to raise taxes on the rich. But since we're in the middle of this crisis, he's having a hard time raising taxes because then the economy could potentially tank, because the last thing you want to do is raise taxes in the middle of a pandemic. But guys, that is where things stand today. I'm hoping that as soon as this stimulus package is passed, he will then focus on Social Security benefits and not only pass this $200 monthly stimulus boost, but also an increase in that COLA adjustment, as well as the other methods that we talked about in this video to help those who are on Social Security benefits. But guys, if you made it this far into my video, don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you updated on that monthly stimulus boost, as well as Biden's plans to increase Social Security benefits over the course of the next year. I do expect to have a lot of updates as soon as this stimulus package is complete. I think Biden will shift a lot of his focus on improving not only Social Security benefits, but the infrastructure as well. Of course, his next plan is to pass a massive stimulus package that would increase infrastructure spending, increase blue-collar jobs, and I do think he will plan to include an increase in Social Security benefits in that package as well. So I hope to have a lot of updates. But guys, thanks so much for supporting my work. It truly means the world to me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with anybody that you think might find this helpful. But with that said, we'll see you next time on the next video, and have a great day.